Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Hagen Botham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome back to the City Current Show, powered by Hagen Botham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And that's why we're so excited to be with Maggie Schaumleffel. She is the Director of Ministries at Barth House Episcopal Center. How are you doing?
Good morning, Jeremy. I'm good. I'm good today.
Well, you do so much good when you talk about working with college students, and we've got a lot to dive into, but let's start with some history. So give us a little bit of history, give us some background for Barth House Episcopal Center.
So the Barth House Episcopal Center was opened in the late 60s, 67, 68, and it was named after the Right Reverend Theodore Knott Barth. He was the sixth bishop of Tennessee, of the Episcopal Diocese of Tennessee at that time. And it's gone through a couple of different iterations. The ministry actually closed in the 90s. It still remained an Episcopal center, but the whole place was renovated and refurbished and opened up and given a whole new life in 2020, believe it or not. So it's it feels like a new ministry or an old ministry given a new life is kind of how we are here.
Well, it's beautiful, and especially when you go online and you see the pictures and then you see it in person. And so talk about the purpose, because it serves college students, but it's much bigger than that. So talk about the purpose and the mission.
It is. So we are a center of the Diocese of West Tennessee. So for the folks, the Episcopal Church is separated into different dioceses, which just means regions. So there is one region that we live in here in Memphis, which is between the Mississippi River and the Tennessee River, and that's the Diocese of West Tennessee. So this center here is meant to be a place for the persons of West Tennessee and in the different ways that they are and can be. So it's for that. Our focus is on faith and arts and hospitality and social justice and community groups and building community and fellowship as we seek our reason and our drive and our closeness and relationship with God. So I got off topic there, Jeremy, because we were talking about campus ministry. But here's the thing. So here's the thing. You can't really separate the two very much. If you have a campus ministry, especially yes, we're talking to young adults most of the time. We're also talking to all the folks on the campus and all the folks who live around the campus and all the folks who support that campus from afar. So to think of that as a whole community, it's the neighborhood where we are, it's the city where we are. And when we talk about young adults and campus ministry, especially today, I think with young adults, I say, I could go up to any young adult and say, I'm a Christian. And most of them, if they don't say it out loud, in their hearts and their heads, they might respond with, what does that even mean? Or what does that mean to you, Maggie, that you're a Christian? And how are you embodying that in this world? I'm glad that the Episcopal Church is a place where we are continually asked to revisit, what does that mean? So they kind of go hand in hand, I think, if you are working with young adults, then how you present in the world as a Christian or as a member of this society is deeply important in how you are authentic.
Yeah, and I think that personal introspectiveness, that personal soul searching that leads to a deeper understanding of yourself, of your faith, and how that manifests then in the community and your purpose, beyond, I think is a big piece of the conversation we're about to have. Talk about where you're located, though, physically located.
Yes. So we are right next to the campus of the University of Memphis. So it looks like, and actually the way the building is designed, driving past here, you would think we were part of the campus of the University of Memphis, which is great because we're within walking distance of a lot of really cool things and cool people. But we're a separate entity. The property is owned by the diocese here.
And so let's go ahead and dive in, because obviously young adults, and so obviously the proximity, University of Memphis students, but you serve students literally from all across the region. And so that's the young adult piece. But like you said, it's much larger than that. And so when you look at the individual transformation, the soul searching, the deeper understanding of faith and what that means for the community at large, Go ahead and start diving into kind of the programmatic pieces in terms of like the weekly and the daily programming for what you all bring to life.
Yeah, thank you. So the neat thing, again, with looking at young adult ministry is you're working with people who are, just by the nature of where they are in life, are intentionally and purposefully building their identity or figuring out their identity. Just who am I going to be in this universe? And so that ministry and being in that space with those folks also lends itself to how we also try to present as the Episcopal Church, and continually asking ourselves and our folks, like we should never stop asking, who am I in this universe? And what does that mean? And how am I going to be in this universe? So we invite campus communities and all those that live in West Tennessee, like, to discover the meaning of their faith and their experiences, personal and with God and with the world, through different engagements and dialogue and events that we have. We have speakers that come here. We have fellowship, intentional fellowship. We have a we call it a Barth House open house, where the doors are open and folks just come in and hang out. You know, it might be a professor who just needs a different space, a different four walls, or literally somebody walking down the street. We also have a refrigerator stocked full of food and a pantry stocked full of food, because one of my love languages is feeding folks. So we try to be that hospitable, open house space where it really is that you can walk in and feel like you are at a place of discovery. I don't have answers to tell you how you should be in this space, in this world. In fact, I don't have answers for myself and exactly how I should be. And hopefully I won't get to that point of certainty in my life. We are in a continual process of trying to look at the things around us and help discern what that means for us in our journey. So we have speakers, we have writers, we have had film series, we've had music competitions. So music competitions and recitals and ensembles that have performed here. We lean heavily on the arts here at Barth House. It's part of, so we have faith, we have arts, and we have hospitality. So those are three of our directionalities for our ministries that we have. And arts really does come back to, because we believe that when you are being your creative self, whatever that looks like. I mean, your creative self might be, your creative self is what you do with City Current and all the beautiful things that you are doing. But somebody's creative self might be creating a spreadsheet, and that's their creative self. But when you are doing that and you are in that, you are worshiping, like you are responding to our Creator and saying, this is how I was made and the gifts I was given, and let them flow. So celebration of the arts and supporting the arts, especially with young adults, or what I like is, the students who are here and maybe their music isn't their major, they're not going to have a final show or a final project or an art showing or an art project. So I'd love for Barth House to be that space for folks to know, well, you can have a recital here. You can come and showcase your art and let's celebrate it here. So we have that time. We have community groups that meet here with purposes of social justice in mind. We have community groups that meet here with just community organizing or for fun and fellowship, which I'd say fun and fellowship are parts of how we become better humans in this world too. So we try to engage on all those different levels. We'll have, I've said speakers, I've said writers, I've said recitals and art shows and lectures, and we have an arts market too.
When you look at the feedback and the obviously the relationships that form and the community, like that's a big piece of this. You're building community, you're building all these connections and the deeper purpose, obviously, but talk about the feedback that you have a chance to receive.
Mm. I'm really proud that I get to be a member, a representative, or try to be a humble representative of the Episcopal Church here on this corner and where we are there's like a row of different campus ministries or different buildings and organizations and clubs that folks can walk into. And I think that what feels so refreshing when people walk through this space is our openness and our ability to sit in the wonder and the curiosity. Anybody who wants to. When I first greet students, I'll go to student involvement fairs and they'll say, I'm not a Christian, can I still come? And my answer is, of course Of course you can come. In fact, we want everybody to feel like this is a place where they are absolutely welcome. The Episcopal Church is known for, folks might know when you're driving down the street and you see a sign out front, it'll say the Episcopal Church welcomes you, or it'll say Barth House welcomes you, for example, or, that's part of our, like one of our slogans, but we want to really mean it. And what that means is having folks come into this space with opinions that may not exactly be the same as ours. Absolutely. How much more rich and diverse can our world be? And how much more rich and diverse can my faith be if somebody comes in here and they have very serious, probing questions, valid questions about what we believe, what I believe, and how I practice that faith? And so many times I am not an ordained priest. I am not trained. I do not have a master's in divinity. And so, but here's one thing too that I know about a lot of the priests that do and represent us here is the recurring answer of, I don't know. And the ability to walk into the Barth House and not have certainty, and to not live on the constant cycle of the hot take of the moment, and to say, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And to that, especially with a lot of the young adults that have come in here, that's given them pause. And what that's meant too, I think, Jeremy, is those are the folks who come back and want to have more conversations and be in more space, because it's so refreshing to be in a place where we do not want to let our certainty divide us from any true wisdom that we can receive from each other and this world at large.
How has this changed your perspective of Memphis, and especially of the next generation, the leaders who are going to be leading our communities in the future and are doing it right now as young adults? How has this changed your perspective of Memphis and the future?
It's easy to walk around anywhere today and, fall victim to the cynicism and to just tiredness. I mean, we're tired from just living our daily lives, just going to work, all the things, right? And it is so hope-giving. And I have a joy-filled existence here at Barth House, even on sad, hard days, even on the saddest, hardest days. Very often, one or two students might meander in, or somebody from the community, or somebody who meets here in another group, and we find each other in this space. And no matter, we're just allowed to be vulnerable. We're allowed to speak and be and experience life and be wrong and get it wrong. And it gives me hope. And to see these young adults who, I guess, when you reach a certain age where you're like, kids these days, they will be our future. And it's true. And if for no other reason, because of the questions that they give and they bring to me, because it is very true. Like, they will be my future because they're helping me shape my future, and the ways that I've given pause, I can't tell you. I mean, working with young adults, there's a new word every day that I learned from the Urban Dictionary, Jeremy, I mean, just that's small but it's true. It's the same thing, like, to just give me different angles of perspective. And it's hard. Sometimes it's very hard for me to say, oh, I don't know if I've ever seen it that way before, but it's exciting to know that you don't have all the answers. Keeps you on your toes.
I love that approach of, I don't have all the answers. I'm not going to sit there and tell you, because I'm questioning things myself and we're learning together. And that sense of humility and humbleness and natural curiosity, but authenticity, really is what connects people and builds community in a stronger way. And so I love it. Carry that into, how can the community help? So how can the community help support your efforts?
So, you can come and hang out. I mean, part of that is an intergenerational ministry, what we have here. So, for example, during the school year, so August through April, really, on Wednesdays, we have a Wednesday Eucharist, which is a worship service with communion. And you can participate however you want, or not participate at all. Or you could just come for our second offering of the table, which is lunch. And so we have lunch at 12:30. So you could come and join us, please, and just be in the space. If you'd like to come and help provide food for students, because we all know that students, I keep the Hot Pocket stocked as much as I can. So it's a way to be here. We also have community meetings of different groups that meet here and to be here in this space. And if somebody would want to use our space, I welcome you to come and check it out. So the actual address is 409 Patterson Street, and I welcome you to contact me and come and check it out and feel what the space is like and see if it's a space that you would want to meet in with your group. Or even we have book clubs that meet here, just a space to be and to come and join in what drives you and what your interests are.
Well, that carries into then contact information. So how do we reach out? Where do we reach out and connect?
Yes. So you can find us on the Episcopal Diocese of West Tennessee's website, which is edwtn.org. You can reach us at Barth House. That's all one word, Barth House at EPISWTN.org. Or you can call us at 901-482-6760.
That makes it easy. Well, Maggie, thank you for all you do to power the good. Greatly appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.